What's up? What's going on? This is Chicago Bears Now. We are 2 days away from the showdown at Soldier Field, in which the Chicago Bears will host those hated Green Bay Packers. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fired up. I am ready to go for Saturday night. We've got a lot to get to today. We'll catch you up on some of the injury news that we just filmed a video on about an hour ago for both teams. We'll take your questions and, maybe some bulletin board material provided, courtesy of the Green Bay Packers that I think is worth looking into. So we'll dive into all that. Shout out your city and let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Colin, you want to give a few shout outs? I got to do one thing real quick.
Yeah, we're actually going to, slightly change things up. You're allowed to either shout out your city or say FGB because I can already see Bears Now, the real ones in the chat, spamming FGB because we already know what time it is. Round 3, Bears-Packers, this Saturday night. We're going to be live 2 hours early. Myself, Harry, breaking down the game, answering your guys' questions, and then obviously, for Bears-Packers Part 3, the NFL wild card round. So get those FGBs or shout out your city down below in the chat. I'm seeing Jake. I see Clifford. Nintendo Masters from Wake Forest, Raleigh. We got FGB from Harley. We've got Clifford saying FGB. South Bend, Indiana from Henry. Cleveland, Ohio from Jack. We've got William saying Chicago. Shout out to you, sir. Lansing, Michigan from Baby Snipe. We got Time Man the Buckeye saying FGB. Been a Bears fan since 3, says FGB. Nicholas, FGB. Booney saying FGB. My boy Z Ganji, Willow Springs, Missouri. Shout out to you. And Kidda saying from Harrison, Grahamsville.
Okay.
Love that.
There we go.
Love that.
I was trying to find the redirect thing, but I just can't find it. So I guess no redirect tonight unless Brett helps me out. I just messaged him.
It should be. It's in the stream settings, right?
I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if I an idiot looked in the wrong spot or if they took it away. So don't know. A lot of FGBs in the chat. We see you, Henry Towers. Trust me, we see you in there. We got Austin and Sacramento. Let's see. Piro in Cedar Lake, Indiana. Concepts saying FGB. Let's go, Concepts.
Let's go. While you guys are down there, if you want, predict the score for us. Bears, Packers. Harry, it sounds like there's going to be some inclement weather this weekend.
Yeah, let's see what the latest is looking like. I'll pull up my handy-dandy weather app here. Let's see. All right, Saturday is looking like high of 35, which means low of 22, which means 7 o'clock kickoff should be sub-freezing, so 32 or less. And it is now a 85% chance of precipitation. So
Ooh.
I would imagine some level of snowstorms during that one, which will create quite a scene at Soldier Field. I can't wait to see it. I think it'll be a spectacle to watch on TV, and we'll provide all of the action here, of course, for you guys. So should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. It's without a doubt the most excited I've been for a game since doing this show. It's the biggest Bears game at least in 5 years, if not 7. Let's see if they can do it. Should be quite the scene. If you get a chance to go, you should, because that's what it's all about. Someone in the chat says, asking if we're going live on 4 Verts. The answer is yes for Ole Miss Miami. That was the techno mumbo jumbo I was talking to Cullen about. But can't figure that out. We will be live, but I was trying to set it up where this stream would redirect y'all to that once again, but can't find where to do it. So
ASAP Toby, is this live? Yes.
We are live. We are live and ready to go.
Appreciate you tuning in. Kidda says he'll be tuning in. Nintendo Master says, okay, see you guys later. Appreciate that, Mike. We'll get to your Super Chat questions second. I'm just reading some score predictions. Bear Down says 26-24 Bears. We got 17-13 Bears from Dan. 34-10 Bears. FGB from Wounded Fox. Been a Bears fan since 3 says fully healthy Bears 27, Packers 17. And that's honestly kind of a good segue into the video we just filmed, Harry, because to your point, and I think a lot of Bears fans agree, this is the best Bears injury news arguably all season that they received today.
Yeah, I mean, they since week 1 when they didn't have Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon. They have not been fully healthy all year. And look, the Bears aren't the only team that's dealt with this, but you could argue this is the healthiest they have been all season. Now, a lot of the guys they're playing are clearly not 100%. Not that other teams' guys are, but I mean, like Kyler Gordon and Odunze, for example, haven't played in a while, so they're clearly not fully healthy. I don't think TJ and Tremaine are fully healthy. I don't think Jalen Johnson's himself. So it's not like the Bears are trotting out a fully healthy unit, but it's probably about as good as you could have hoped for heading into this week. So that's a good thing. We'll see what ends up happening, how these guys play, but it's good news to say the least. Odunze does not have an injury designation, neither does Ozzy Trapilo. Kyler Gordon is technically questionable, but I think that's because they just have to activate him to the 53-man roster. So once they do that, he'll be full go, I would think. Now, again, how much does he play? How impactful is he? We'll have to wait and see, but that's where things sit right now. Okay, I'm being shown how to do this real quick.
I can maybe.
Okay, here it is.
You got it? Sweet. Dope. We'll go ahead and answer some of you guys' super chats. Excuse me. Austin, whoever loses gets clowned for the next 6 months. No doubt about it. This is bragging rights. This is, hey, listen, two hated teams that for over 100 years battled it out. The Bears, there's a lot of bragging rights. There's a lot of, much on the line in terms of, hey, listen, home team winning the NFC North, proving that the Bears are for real in this kind of big playoff spot. We've talked about it kind of throughout the week, Harry, leading up to it, that obviously there's probably more pressure, weirdly, on the Packers just because of, some circumstances going on in Green Bay land. But the Bears, they got some stuff to prove as well on their end.
Yeah, I think the pressure is higher on Green Bay, but let's face it, when you face your rival in the playoffs and you lose, you're going to get dunked on regardless of the circumstances. So bragging rights are absolutely there. I think it could be, I don't know, I don't want to say like a full transformational type of win if you get it, but it kind of feels that way. If the Bears could win this one, like it's not just some fluky year one with Ben Johnson. It's like, okay, this is a thing moving forward, you would think. But yeah, I mean, if the Packers win, they are going to dunk on Bears fans. So we have to be ready for that. But if Bears fans win, it's gonna be something special. So I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome to see. And I do think the pressure is more on Green Bay, and we'll talk more about that as we go.
Fair enough. Moving on to Jay here. It says, I live in Atlanta, and the main sports talk show here is convinced FGB will fire Matt LaFleur if we beat them. I feel like that's a crazy take. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about this further, but that's why I think the pressure is more on Green Bay. Unless Matt LaFleur has been informed directly that he is getting an extension, there's been that chatter out there. And I can't remember the guy's name, the new kind of Ed Policy, I think, before the season came out and said, I want to see these guys earn a contract extension, and I don't believe in lame duck head coaches. Well, Matt LaFleur has 1 year left on his deal. So without an extension, he would be a lame duck coach in 2026. So if they lose this game, does Policy still extend him and GM Brian Gutekunst? Or do they fire him, or do they play it out as a lame duck situation? Most organizations don't function that way. Dallas did it last year with Mike McCarthy, and then they just let his contract run out this offseason before promoting Brian Schottenheimer. But I'm with you. I think it would be crazy. I still would be surprised if it happened if the Bears beat them, but that will be a talking point. If the Bears beat the Packers, there will be chatter starting that night and into Sunday of, do the Packers move on from Matt LaFleur? I guarantee you will see it. So, yeah, the pressure is on. They've got a $55 million quarterback who's under a lot of pressure. Anytime you're in the playoffs, you're under pressure. So the Bears are under pressure too. But this is year one of Ben Johnson. This is year two of Caleb Williams. Like, they have not committed the resources to their quarterback. Their head coach hasn't been here as long as Matt LaFleur has been. So it's despite the Bears being the higher seed and playing at home, in a lot of ways, the Packers are under a lot more pressure. Jay Reed What's the news with Ozzy's? He's good. He's good to go. Practice in full today. No injury designation. So he's playing. Braxton Jones, for what it's worth, practiced in full all week, is listed as questionable, but the same as Kyler Gordon. That's because they haven't chosen to activate him just yet. So I'll be curious to see if they activate Braxton Jones, who gets cut or whatever. Maybe Jordan McFadden. That would probably be the answer. I think they have a roster spot open. So when they activate Kyler Gordon, he just is the 53rd guy. But if they activate Jones, then they would have to cut somebody. Maybe that would be McFadden or someone like Jalen Jones, but they like him on special teams. So I would guess it would be Jordan McFadden. But it was out of nowhere, Cullen, that Braxton Jones just all of a sudden, oh, he's healthy and he's practicing this week.
Yeah.
So maybe this was just the timeline, but I don't know. It seemed kind of interesting. Clearly, Ozzy's going to start, but if they activate Braxton, I wonder if he's the backup left tackle. I would doubt it. I mean, Theo's been healthy and has played this year, but the timing was curious to me. So, but to answer your question, Jay, Ozzy's good to go. He may not be 100%, but he does not have an injury designation. Yeah. Concepts. Let's hope they finally open up that secret play book. You would think Ben Johnson's going to have a trick or two up his sleeve. It's about pulling it out at the right time. Like, don't do it on 4th and a foot if you're running the ball down their throats on the opening drive, right? But I would not be surprised if they pulled out a trick or two at some point this game. Maybe even a trick on special teams. They haven't really done that much this year, if at all. Have they done a single trick play on special teams?
On special teams, no.
I mean, they've had a couple like returns where they design that like cross field, like block it up on the wide return. That's not a trick play. That's just a return design.
It's deceptive, not tricky.
Yeah. So, would you, the weather conditions, you would think trying a fake punt might be crazy in these conditions. Like, it would depend. But would you try something like that in a game like this? Maybe. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how the game flow is. Bear down for life. Also, the great Dan Orlovsky said the Packers will handily win Saturday night. All I got to say about that is boo. I did see that. That was disappointing. He's allowed to have his analysis, though. I just think these two teams are fairly evenly matched. The Bears are at home. We know if it's close in the second half, they'll have a chance. I'd be surprised if Green Bay came in here 4 losses in a row and just controlled Chicago from start to finish. I just don't see that happening. The main reason why is I don't think their defense is good enough. Like, I don't think Green Bay, without Micah Parsons, has given us any reason to believe that they're just going to shut teams down. So I'd be surprised if it played out that way. Until the game plays out, we don't know. But I'm guessing this will be close in the fourth quarter. That's how both games have gone. That's how the Bears have just been all year. So that would be my guess, but
you're telling me the Cardiac Bears might have a game that comes down late in the fourth quarter.
Seems like a decent bet, but maybe they'll get beat handily because Dan Orlovsky said so. Listen, I like Dan. I think he has some good takes, but I disagree with this one. Not because I'm a Bears content creator. I just don't see that happening. I think the Packers their flaws have started to be exposed some, especially defensively without Micah. And Jordan Love hadn't played in 3 weeks, essentially. So how's he going to come? Is he going to come out firing right away in bad weather? Maybe. Kudos to him if he does. We'll see. Adam Downing, appreciate all the supers, guys. Had a friend bring an old style down here to Florida. I'm ready for a bear down win. Let's go, Adam. Need it. And being in Florida, probably better weather than Soldier Field this weekend. Although it would be cool to be at that game. No question about it. Oh, Davis Webb completed his interview with the Ravens. Is that their first interview, Davis Webb? It's pretty interesting.
It might be, yeah. Interesting.
Caden, love the show. Been watching since 2020. You think the coaches were playing possum schematically the last couple games to throw off playoff opportunities? I don't think the last couple. No, I mean, the number 1 seed was still hanging in the balance when they played the 49ers. So I don't think that. Now, Ben has come out and said that they went with the simpler game plan against Detroit. They played to win, but it was more of like, hey, let's get into a rhythm, feel good about ourselves heading into the playoffs. and ideally win it in the process. Now, in the fourth quarter, all those things happened. They played well, got into a nice rhythm. First three, not so much. They obviously didn't win the game either, but I don't think that they had some major strategy like that. I do think in Week 18, they were not going to show some crazy, like Dan Campbell tried that David Montgomery trick play pass. Like I don't think Ben was going to reveal anything like that in that game, but certainly going back 2 weeks, I mean, when they went to San Francisco, there was still a scenario where the Bears could get the 1 seed. So I do not think that to be the case. All right, who we got here? Jack Cole, been watching since 2020. This is my first super chat. Jack, thank you so much. You've been watching for a while. Jack. Year 6. I literally saw the notification on our channel. It's like your channel has turned 6 years old.
Yes.
Because we launched in January of 2020. Kind of crazy. So if you've been here with us that long, that's loyalty. So I appreciate it. Been with you through all the crash outs at Heartbreak, FGB, Bears 31-21. Love you, Harry and Cully. We appreciate it, Jack. And yeah, I mean, for it to finally get to this moment with an opportunity to not just win this game, but to feel like you at least have a chance to go on some kind of a run. It's been a long, windy road, but we've gotten here. Hopefully you and other Bears fans aren't disappointed on Saturday night. Drew went last week after 18's pick, video screens, couldn't get the crowd to make noise for the defense. Dead silence. Crowd must show up all game this week, bear down. I expect what we saw against the Packers a couple of weeks ago, Colin, I expect that, which was already crazy, and then some. I mean, I can't even imagine the energy that is going to be in that stadium on Saturday night. They have not had a home playoff game since the double doink. It's the Green Bay Packers. It's a primetime game, potential snow game, which could make travel stuff weird, but I think the locals will embrace that even more. Like, this is one of those games where, like, based on the Bears' last 15 years, it's like you haven't really had many opportunities like this. So I expect that place to be unbelievable on Saturday night. I really do.
I think it's going to be just an all-time potential atmosphere. And listen, I mean, for Bears-Packers obviously is going to make a, big storyline, lead into, just the more just crazy just vibes just around the stadium. But the Bears are hosting a playoff game as the 2 seed in a wide open NFC. We've talked about it kind of all, leading up, as the Bears have gotten more into the playoff picture. No team is without flaws this year, Chicago included. But I mean, Seattle, questions with Darnold, the Rams, the secondary, the Eagles haven't played up to, their Super Bowl caliber self. All these teams, like Chicago has a legitimate chance to go on a run here, and it starts this weekend against the Packers.
And I mean, what a way to start that run if you can get it. Like, can you imagine just the confidence this team would have if they won this game heading into the rest of the tournament? I mean, it would just, I think, just jumpstart this team even more than what we've seen this year. Alex Amerling with the FGB in the chat. Let's go, Alex.
FGB.
Come on. Lee. Zay Frazier posted said he's medically cleared. I did see that. I saw that circulating, so good for him. I am curious about medically cleared because there was no word of an illness an injury. Now, medically cleared could mean a lot of things, not necessarily an injury. Maybe he was dealing with, some kind of other injury, illness situation. So whatever it was, that's good to see. And, he'll have his chance this offseason to prove he's worthy of being on this roster next year. Talented player. Wish him well. Hopefully he can factor in next season. Z Cosm with Rome coming back. I wonder if the run game is better with his blocking. It could be. Wide receivers blocking in this scheme specifically is an underrated part of the run game. We know he's a willing and excellent blocker. Him and Luther have done it all year. They're both really good in the run game. So that could certainly help. I think Ozzy being back, even though Theo's a good run blocker, I just think the cohesion that has been there with this 5 has been really good the last couple of months. So I expect the Bears to try to get the run game going. Obviously, Baltimore had their way with Green Bay a couple weeks ago. Different game, different day, different personnel. But this Bears offensive line should be able to, I don't want to say dominate, but they should be able to control things relatively compared to what the Green Bay Packers defensive line can do, especially without Micah Parsons. So, yeah, if I'm Ben Johnson, I am trying to physically overwhelm Green Bay at the line of scrimmage. That would be what I'm trying to do early in this football game.
Win time of possession.
Yes.
Lean on Green Bay.
Yep.
You've got the manpower to do it. You've made the investments in the offensive line. They understand what this kind of game means. I mean, you've got players that have played in this league a lot of time. Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney, who's obviously played in a lot of big games. Jonah Jackson. Lean on him.
Yep.
Make it easier on your second-year quarterback.
Austin Mays, what will you do if the Bears win on a Hail Mary? Party? I don't. If they win Saturday, Colin, I don't want to, just speak for you, but we're going to be here a while.
Yes.
If the Bears win Saturday, if the game ends at, let's call it 10:15 Central, I think we will be live well past midnight.
Listen, if you're here,
we're going live at 5:00, so that would be a 7+ hour stream. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a night if they win.
Yeah, no, if you're here, I'm here. And listen, if the Bears win on a Hail Mary, chances are we're going to be celebrating, going crazy, and the whole 9 yards. So you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you guys are tuned in.
It's going to be fantastic. Marcus, if the Bears win and FGB does fire LaFleur, which coach would you hate to see Green Bay hire? None of these coaches scare me. Well, that's my thing. I hope they fire LaFleur because there's no one available that I think is better than LaFleur. Like, even John Harbaugh, like, excellent coach, certainly longer overall better resume than Matt LaFleur, but, like, okay, who's his OC? Who's Jordan Love having to start meshing with? It'd be the first time in Love's career he's had to learn a new offense, new play caller. So, like, I will celebrate if I might go live if the Packers fire Matt LaFleur, depending on when it happens. So, yeah, I guess I would say I'd hate to see them get John Harbaugh, but I'd still rather see John Harbaugh in Green Bay than Matt LaFleur. John Harbaugh is 63 years old. Even if it's a home run for Green Bay, he's not going to coach for 15 years. Matt LaFleur, like Ben Johnson's a pretty young guy. He could be there for 20 more years, in theory. So, yeah, I think in a vacuum, I think it would be insane if they moved on off of him. But considering this coaching cycle, I think it would be even more insane. Like, don't you think this would be crazy if they actually did this?
Yeah, no, I think Matt LaFleur, if he were to leave Green Bay or, part ways, whatever the term may be, he'd instantly be the number one head coach candidate for every team that is looking for head coaches. I think even more firings could potentially happen if Matt LaFleur were to fire from Green Bay.
There might be a couple situations and a couple teams that would value John Harbaugh over Matt LaFleur.
Sure.
But regardless, like, at minimum, he's on the John Harbaugh level in terms of interest across the league, if not higher, because most teams value young offensive head coaches who call the plays, because even if your staff gets picked off, you have that cohesion with the quarterback. I mean, look at Baker's a great example. Todd Bowles is a fine head coach. I don't even think he's bad, but they keep getting stuck with these new play callers because they keep getting picked off, and all of a sudden you have a bad year, Baker gets banged up, and it's like, is Todd Bowles worth keeping if we're going to keep – like, if they had a do-over, Cullen, wouldn't you just – like, it would be bold, but wouldn't you just fire Todd Bowles and promote Liam Cohen? Like that.
Liam Cohen's doing some pretty good things
today. I think I think if you polled Bucks fans, hey, if you could pick either guy to be our head coach tomorrow, Liam Cohen, Todd Bowles, I think it would be about 98% Liam Cohen. And again, that's not because Bowles is bad. It's just that the cohesion with play caller and quarterback is so important.
It is, and especially, with the modernized rules and everything and how much it leans towards the offense. And look, Baker, I mean, he's just, again, use that point. He's had, it feels like, a different offensive coordinator damn near every year he's been in the league. I mean, he's just gone through turmoil and stuff. So
it's five straight years, I think. Stefanski, whoever he had in Carolina.
Yep.
And then the
last 3 years.
And then, so it'll be sixth guy in 6 years. It's hard, man, unless you're one of the best. And even then, you think about the best guys historically, they weren't losing play callers year in and year out like that. I mean, Jalen Hurts is like the other example in Philadelphia, but even though the play callers changed, their philosophies haven't really. They're a run-first team anyway. So, yeah, it's a long-winded answer, Marcus, of saying I hope they do it because anybody they could hire, unless there's some shocking guy that became available, would not concern me as much as Matt LaFleur. Jack Cole again. What do the Bears have to do for you to shave your beard and or paint your nails? If they're in the Super Bowl, we might get groovy with it. We'll see. Although I don't know if I'll shave until the playoffs are over. I mean, you don't want to. It's kind of like the playoff hockey thing. Like you don't want to shave mid-run, but the nails are in play. It's absolutely a possibility. So let's win this first game and see where it goes from there. Win this first game and see where it goes from there.
All right, we are officially caught up on our super chats.
Cool. So what we're going to do next, first of all, hit that like button. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to the show. We got, how many people we got watching? Almost 500 people watching, so appreciate that. Like this video. Help us get more Bears fans in here. Plus, it just supports us and helps us in the algorithm. And then we'll answer more questions coming up in about 15 minutes. So hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions answered here on the show. Actually, let's do some injury. Let's do some injury stuff real quick.
Okay.
Little injury roundup here. If you missed some of the news, we will hit it here. So all three of these guys are expected to play. Odunze and Ozzy Trapilo do not have an injury designation. Technically, Kyler Gordon is questionable, but again, the way they've talked all week, he's going to play. They just have to activate him to the 53-man roster. So that's just a technicality. He's going to play, barring a setback. Ben Johnson, before today's practice, had this to say, saying talking about Kyler Gordon, looked good yesterday. We'll see what it looks like again today. Both him and Rome, it's good to have them both back out there. They're excited. They're moving around well. We'll see if they can help us out this weekend. I mean, Dennis Allen said yesterday Kyler is going to be a part of the game plan. So, again, barring a setback, he's going to be out there. Rome and Ozzy are good to go as well. Now, these three players are out. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and Amen Ogbongbemiga. No surprises, all in concussion protocol. It was trending this way. Tryon-Shoyinka, second straight game missed with a concussion, so must be a pretty bad one for him. For Gardner-Johnson in particular, you're hoping if the Bears advance, he can return next week, and that way if Kyler Gordon's not like a full go, they can kind of stagger those snaps. That would certainly be helpful and give Dennis Allen some more options on the back end. For the Packers, 6 guys questionable. Zach Tom, who did not practice today, they rested him with the hope of getting his body right for Saturday. That feels like a true game-time decision. They'll probably put him through a workout pregame and see how he holds up. Dontayvion Wicks still in the concussion protocol. Pretty simple. If he clears, he'll play. If he doesn't, he won't. So I don't know what the cutoff for that is. I would guess we have an answer by tomorrow on him, but maybe wait till Saturday morning. He might be able to take the final test or whatever it is on Saturday. I'm not sure. Malik Willis, questionable with the shoulder. LaFleur did say they expect him to be available as the backup to Jordan Love. Javon Bullard was limited all week with the knee injury that he banged up in Week 18, so that's one to watch. Warren Brinson, Nick Neiman also questionable with foot and pectoral issues. But Zach Tom, Javon Bullard, Dontayvion Wicks, those are the three to watch. A, they're the most impactful that are questionable, and B, it feels a little dicey for all three. Bullard banging up the knee recently, Wicks in the concussion protocol, and Zach Tom, who they decided to hold out today because who knows, maybe that knee didn't hold up well yesterday. I don't know, or maybe this was always the plan. Who knows? But I think that's a game-time decision. And if he's out and it's Jordan Morgan again, you got to feast if you're Montez Sweat. And even if Tom plays, come on, Montez, it's your second career playoff appearance. It's go time. Go be that guy that can make plays along the Bears' defensive line because he's the one guy who's got the skins on the wall to do it. So see if he's able to. Which return do you think is bigger? Type RO for Odunze or KG for Kyler Gordon. Which player returning from injury do you guys think is bigger? Let us know in the comments. We'll get some shout-outs here live on the show. You think Rome or Kyler's a bigger return? Colin, who do you think is the bigger return? What's the bigger impact, in your opinion, if both guys play?
Well, listen, I think both these guys are impactful, obviously. I think they're going to, find ways to contribute. We'll see how much ultimately on Saturday night. Each of them will be able to kind of go out there, how many snaps each one of them are going to have To me, though, it's kind of clear and obvious. It's Kyler Gordon. Rome Odunze, listen, it'll be a nice, addition to the receiving kind of quartet that you built up in Chicago with Colson Love and Luther Burden, who, in Rome's absence have really kind of stepped up and really have grown as players and really become factors in this offense. DJ Moore's had some moments here and there. Obviously, had that infamous catch against the Packers there late in the season. But to get Rome Odunze back, it's another weapon that Green Bay has to account for, as you've kind of pointed out. Kyler Gordon, though, his ability not only to play the nickel, which I would expect he'd probably get some run at with C.J. Gardner-Johnson obviously not playing, his ability, though, to also be that versatile weapon. And again, I don't know how versatile he'll be in Dennis Allen's scheme this weekend because we know he can also play not only the nickel but outside and also maybe even a little safety if necessary. Just having him back in the lineup, especially given the extension, given, how really down this year's been for him from an injury standpoint, I think could be a lifting, almost kind of like a jet of injection of just, something just for this defense.
Yeah, if he's got limitations, which I think it's fair to expect some, and I agree, I do think Gordon's more important just because the defense has been struggling. I would guess he's probably going to be used more in the box. If he's having to, if I'm Green Bay, I'm trying to have him change direction a lot, right? And how do you do that? You find matchups where you can get him stuck in coverage in certain situations and, run option routes against him and stuff like that. We know when he's fully himself, he can defend that stuff, but, maybe his role is more of as a downhill player. We know he can be a quasi linebacker in certain packages. So, yeah, we'll see it. You just gotta hope and trust that they'll have a plan and see if they can execute it. But,
no doubt.
I think both guys can have an impact, which is good. And, Rome, even though I do think if I had to pick one over the other to play, I'd pick Kyler. Good news is both should play. Rome can still be a factor in terms of he has to garner attention. He can obviously make plays and contest to catches situations, even though he's probably a little better at that as a rookie. Hopefully he can bounce back in that way Saturday or in the future. He's still someone Jeff Hafley has to account for. He's a guy who can make big plays. They can run those digs over the middle to him.
Yep.
So, and someone mentioned earlier too, even just like run blocking, like he's a pretty physical run blocker. And in a game like this, Cullen, with the weather, I mean, just having his physicality and when you don't, if you guys ever played football at any level, tackle football, middle school, high school, if you played college, whatever, when you haven't played in a while, you're ready to hit somebody. And so I would imagine Rome Odunze, that first, second play he's out there, even if it's a run play, he's going to be looking for contact.
Yes.
So just kind of having him as an Energizer bunny, if nothing else, I think is a good thing for the Bears.
I will say, because I think LaCour and some others have said this in the chat, Kyler Gordon, I'm interested to see how Dennis Allen's game plan is. Will they use more zone, try to get him out of those kind of man-to-man situations where, to your point, he would have to flip his hips and really kind of see, what his mobility is like? With no C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the questions at the nickel spot, do you think Dennis Allen, maybe plays a more conservative kind of, not necessarily prevent, but just kind of keep everything in front of you?
I think, too, probably a slick field. You're already struggling in the secondary. I think it's even more reason to run more zone. You play man coverage, a guy slips, that could be a simple pass concept could go for 50. So yeah. I honestly think both teams are going to play a lot of zone in this game. Force quarterbacks to dink and dunk. Going to be a lot of run-heavy stuff, and I think it's going to be one of those games, Cullen, where there's probably going to be a lot of 3rd and 3s to 3rd and 5s. Who executes those? Like that's probably going to be like this game more than any all year will come down to situations. Who's better on 3rd down? Who tackles better in space? Those type of things, because when the weather gets like this, you're probably not going to see as many explosives. Because I think, at least I'm projecting, if I'm Jeff Hafley, especially without Micah Parsons, if I'm Dennis Allen, I'm playing a lot of zone and I'm forcing the quarterbacks to throw underneath. Now, maybe if it's really bad weather, you could be a little more aggressive and see if they can throw over the top. But I think Caleb and Love, quite frankly, is a thrower, not as much as a mover. I think both these quarterbacks in the weather will be able to grip the ball effectively. So I would still have that kind of bend, don't break approach if I were these DCs. But we'll see. Maybe both teams will be bringing 6 every play. I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to watch. All right. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions answered on the show.
Big Dumper, we see your super chat. You'll probably honestly lead us off here in the mailbag that we're about to get into. So
yeah, we'll do. You want to just do the mailbag now?
knock it out.
Yeah, we'll do the mailbag
Knock it
now.
out.
Hashtag Bears Super Chat. If you super chat, you can jump to the front of the line. We know not everybody can super chat. We don't expect everybody to super chat. So hashtag Bears to get your questions in there as well.
I'm already seeing some good questions though, but feel free to.
Your average Bears fan says, "Dude, we need Kyler to play his best game all year." Well, he's only played 3 games. So yeah. For Kyler, the defense, I'd like under 300 offensive yards, 3 to 5 sacks, 2 turnovers. If they hold the Packers under 300 yards, have 3+ sacks and 2 takeaways, I feel pretty confident in a win. I mean, I don't even have those expectations. Like, honestly, low 300s I think would be a win. Now, I don't think it'll be 400+ given the likely weather conditions. But, again, I think it's more of the situations. Can you hold them to 40% or less on third down? Can you force field goals in the red zone? I'm curious, too, the kicker situation in this game for both teams.
Yep.
I mean, if it's pouring snow and blowing 30 miles an hour, I mean, what is going to be the range? Maybe tops out at like 40, 45? I mean, there's going to be a lot of big decisions these coaches have to make and will be judged for throughout and after the game. So it's going to be wild. Thank you, David. 150,000 is pretty awesome. We're excited about it. And if you're one of the 150,000 plus subscribers here on this channel, very humbling. So thank you guys. And since we got to 150,000, I made a deal with you guys. We would do a 2-hour pregame show before the game if we got there before Saturday, and got there Wednesday night. So you guys, you guys are bringing the boom. So we appreciate it.
Bringing the boom.
All right, we'll get into this mailbag here. Fire in more questions. We'll try to get to as many as we can. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Get your questions answered on the show. And we'll go ahead and hop on in here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Coming up here on this episode of Chicago Bears Now, we will get into a mailbag. So use that hashtag Bears. You can also super chat to get your questions answered. But there's been this kind of storyline going around this week that I actually agree with. I think the Packers are under more pressure than the Bears in this game, despite the Bears being at home, despite the Bears winning the division, and despite the Bears being the 2 seed. Now, don't get me wrong. Both teams are under a lot of pressure. If you're in the playoffs, you're under pressure because if you get into the tournament, the goal is to win. So every game, every snap, every series, it's high pressure. I'm not downplaying that. But when you just factor in some of the storylines around the Packers, there's real talk out there. If the Bears knock the Packers out, that Matt LaFleur's future in Green Bay could be in doubt. Now, I think that's crazy, but that was out there earlier this year. It's resurfaced down the stretch as they've lost some big games. So that is a pretty high-pressure thing for Matt LaFleur as he's entering the last year of his contract in 2026. And Ed Policy said before the year, I don't believe in lame duck coaches. So that is something to watch. Jordan Love's a $55 million quarterback. He's had a good year, but one playoff win in 2 years, and in the 2 playoff losses, he has 5 interceptions. So how does he play? Does he live up to that contract? Caleb's under pressure, but he's in the second year of his rookie deal, right? Also, Super Bowl expectations. They make that big trade for Micah Parsons. Now, he's out. He tore his ACL, but they went all in this year, and they're the 7th seed. So to not even win a playoff game would be pretty disappointing for the Packers. The Bears are ahead of schedule in a lot of ways. It is just year 1 for Ben Johnson. Again, I'm not downplaying the moment for the Bears. I want the Bears to win the Super Bowl. I think they can go on a run. I'm going to be stressful as hell when that game kicks off Saturday night. But if we're being honest and in a vacuum looking at this, the Green Bay Packers are under more pressure than the Chicago Bears. That doesn't mean the Bears should play completely free. It's still a high-stress situation, but I think it's something worth discussing. Now, that being said, I think it would be insane to fire Matt LaFleur. Who are you going to replace him with? John Harbaugh? Okay. John Harbaugh's got probably a longer and better resume overall, but it's not like it's insanely better if you just compare individual years. Yes, he has the Super Bowl. LaFleur doesn't have one, hasn't been to one, but I would celebrate if they fired Matt LaFleur. Jordan Love would have to learn a new offense for the first time in his career. I just think that would be ridiculous if the Packers did that. But hey, if you're the Bears, you got a chance to get him fired because that storyline, that narrative, those talking points have been out there. Who do you guys think is under more pressure on Saturday night? Type CHI for the Bears, FGB for the Packers. I think it's pretty clearly the Packers, but when you're in the big dance, you're playing your rival, the Bears are under pressure too. Don't get it twisted. All right, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Get those questions answered. Big Dumper with the $5 Super Chat. Has your opinion on what QBs you take over Caleb changed with the season he had? Oh, definitely. I think I did my full top 32 quarterback rankings for the projected starters on my other YouTube channel, 4Verts. I want to say I had Caleb like 19th or 20th heading into this year. I'd have to double check. He's definitely surpassed a lot of people on that list. I mean, like, Geno was ahead of him, I think. Tua was ahead of him. I'm safe to say he will enter the top 15 of my list next year. With the strong playoff run, he could push for top 10. He finished top 10 in a lot of big categories. Passing yards, touchdowns, fewest interceptions. I think he was close to top 10 in QB, either QBR or one of those rating metrics. I'd have to look, but obviously accuracy needs to come up. We know that. But, yeah, he's definitely – the arrow has been pointing up throughout the season. Ben said it himself, especially the second half of this season. He has been a much different quarterback than he was when Johnson first took the job. All right, we got Jack Cole with the $5 Super Chat. I want to see more pressure on early downs and take a couple shots early. Hopefully that will open up the run game a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a couple early shots. And I did mention that on our early preview is, it feels like when they have blitz, it's only been on important third downs, which, listen, sometimes you want to turn up the heat on third down. That's totally fine. But, sneak in a 1st and 10 blitz. Try and steal a play, right? I think you can work those in there if you're Dennis Allen and just be a little bit less predictable. Now, it's tough, right? When you have injuries, your pass rush is struggling, all those type of things. It's hard to be, to catch opposing offenses off balance when you just don't have the ideal personnel, and the good personnel you do have is banged up. But I still think there are different things you can do, and this would be an example of one of those, is mixing in some early down blitzes in this football game. All right, today's show is sponsored by Ethos. When you bring a child into the world, your perspective changes overnight. That was certainly true for my wife and I when we had our son a couple of years ago. And for me, part of loving my family meant thinking about their future even in uncomfortable ways. Life insurance is not a fun topic, but it's one you need to think about, and I'm so glad I found out about Ethos. I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happened to me, there are real consequences like mortgage payments, tuition, everyday bills. Those things don't just disappear. Thinking about that used to feel overwhelming, but taking steps to protect my family financially changed that. That's why I got life insurance through Ethos. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. Ethos has no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, get same-day coverage. Application times may vary. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now by going to ethos.com/NFL Daily. Like I said, in as little as 10 minutes, you can get a free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. Check it out today. Kiddis, how would you compare Ben Johnson's offense in Chicago versus his offense in Detroit? Are they the same or have they been different? I mean, they're clearly not carbon copies. Now, there's a lot of concepts that he uses in this offense. A lot of the quick passing game stuff, like a lot of the plays that Loveland makes on these quick slants and stuff, you saw him do that with LaFleur a lot. A lot of the over-the-middle passing, those timing concepts, he did a lot with Jared Goff. But clearly he's leaned in some to Caleb's skill set. But he's also really challenged Caleb with the under-center play action game, which is a lot of the stuff he does with Jared Goff. So I think you've seen a marriage of Ben Johnson's principles and Caleb Williams' skill set kind of come together nicely. Now, it's not a finished product, but I don't think it was ever going to be a finished product in year one. Day, let's call it, since OTA's 200 compared to day one, it's clearly a much improved situation. So, the run game has kind of evolved as the season has gone on as well. So you see a lot of the conceptual things and personnel packages that he liked to run in Detroit. A lot of 12 personnel here as well, but it's certainly not exactly the same, and that's because Caleb's a different quarterback than Jared Goff. Been a Bears fan since 3. I think Tyreek Stevenson should sub at nickel this game. He could be very intriguing at that spot. Thoughts, Harry? Well, with Kyler Gordon almost certainly playing, I would not expect to see that. I have said it a couple times, though, when the Bears have had issues at nickel, like, why not try Tyreek Stevenson there? Now, maybe they just don't view him as a viable option there. I don't know. In general, I would like to see Tyreek Stevenson play more. That's been a hot button topic this week of, do you bench Jalen Johnson? Do you bench Nahshon Wright? Do you go to a rotation there? I am fine if they start Jalen and Nahshon, but if one or both those guys is getting picked on early, I think Tyreek deserves an opportunity. I was surprised to see him get 0 snaps last week. I expect him to play some this Saturday night. Be sure to join us on Saturday night. Bears-Packers watch party, Saturday night, 5 o'clock Central. We will go live. That is 2 hours before kickoff. Thank you guys so much for helping us reach 150,000 subscribers. Our agreement was if we did that before Saturday, we would go live for 2 hours before kickoff. So we're doing it. Myself, Cullen Brown. It's going to be fun. Be sure to subscribe and join us. Shy to God with the $5 super chat. Bears ideal outcomes this weekend. Bears win. 49ers win. Panthers win. Bears host Panthers next weekend. Yeah, I think that's clearly the ideal outcome, right? Any outcome, that's the only path, by the way, to getting Carolina at home next week, because if the Panthers win and the Eagles win, you'll host the Eagles. I still think that would be an okay outcome as well, but if Carolina somehow beat the Rams and you played them at home next week, what an opportunity. You get to play a Southern team that's been sporadic at best this year at home in what should be a cold game with the chance to go to the NFC Championship. That is a golden opportunity. Now, at the same time, I'd be shocked if Carolina beat the Rams for a second time. They beat them earlier this year. But you never know. It's one game. That's the thing about football. It's not a best of 5. It's not a best of 7. A lot of things can happen in a 60-minute football game. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Don Rafa, appreciate the #Bears question. What do you think of the discussion about the Packers looking for revenge on the Love hit from last game? Well, if you're watching live on Thursday, I got thoughts. We're going to get into those. But, Josh Jacobs chose his words fairly carefully, but I don't know how much he gained by saying what he said, which was basically that players are pissed off about what happened and that we're not going to play dirty necessarily, but we're going to protect our guy. Kind of indirectly saying, like, they might have some extracurriculars. We'll see. Look, I know Booker got fined for it. I think that's more of a result of the injury Love suffered, to be honest. If Love did not exit the game, I don't think Booker would have been fined. But this league protects its quarterbacks, and I understand why they do, because it's a multi-billion-dollar business, and the quarterbacks make it go. So, more thoughts coming up, so stay tuned. Predict the score, Bears, Packers, who wins, and what is the final score going to be? I want to hear it from you guys in the comment section of this video. Bears, Packers, final score, let's go. All right, XSPX. Why was Detroit able to have our number this year, and should we be concerned? Also, I found out my grandfather also watches you the other day. Oh, that's awesome. Tell him I said hello, and that I appreciate it. I said coming into this year, I did not think the Bears were a good matchup for Detroit. And it's not like because Dan Campbell knows Ben Johnson or anything like that. It's because their receivers are bad matchups for the Bears corners, even if everyone's fully healthy. Jalen Johnson, as great as he is, he struggles against smaller twitchy receivers. The Lions have 2 of those, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. Same with Tyreek Stevenson. He's a physical corner at the point of attack. He'd rather be physical on the boundary. Like Isaac Tesla, I think Stevenson can guard him just fine, right? So I think it's a tough matchup for the Bears secondary because they don't have twitchy DBs. Kyler Gordon's the one guy, but he didn't play in either game. So I think it was a tough X's and O's matchup. And that's the thing about football. Just because Detroit wasn't a great team, they were still very good and a tough matchup for Chicago. Appreciate the question. We've got time for a few more. DC Viper, people seem to be comparing Nagy and Johnson's first year. Do they feel similar to you? I think Johnson has a more sustainable situation, even if the Bears are a little ahead of schedule. The one reason being, I think Caleb is ascending clearly. And even if Bears fans, if we thought Mitch, his arrow was pointing up at the time, it wasn't pointing up in the sense of this guy could be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 quarterback at some point. It's more like, okay, like Mitch could be the franchise guy, maybe a top 15 guy, be a good game manager with maybe a little more juice. Clearly that wasn't the case. But Mitch's ceiling, I never felt, I don't want to speak for all of you, I never felt like Mitch was going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like 2018 was really, Vic Fangio's defense was incredible, and the offense was solid, opportunistic. They could run the football with Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, Allen Robinson made timely plays. Mitch ran around and made some plays. But yeah, I think that's the big difference. And Ben Johnson is a much better play caller too than Matt Nagy ever was. So if the Bears defense can just improve and come along, I think the offense is here to stay. And that was not the case in 2018. All right, appreciate all the questions. I did finally catch up on some DMs, so fire away. That way I have more to catch up on. At HGramNFL on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I might have some TikTok DMs to catch up on, but anyway, I'm over there now too, at HGramNFL, TikTok. Go support, help me grow on that platform. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down. All right, daily basis. You read this for me, Cullen?
I can. He says, I actually disagree, HG. If the Packers win, the league will consider it business as usual. If the Bears win, the talk around the NFC North flips completely. The Bears have more at stake long term.
That's 2 different conversations, though. I think the Bears can prove more. I don't think they're under the most pressure. If the Bears lose, okay, the national media might be like, oh, okay, the Packers still. That's just talking points, though. There might be actual major ramifications in Green Bay's organization if they lose, right?
Yes.
And they're not going to get rid of Jordan Love, but there's a world where Matt LaFleur is gone. And even if he's not, Jeff Hafley could get a head coach. Things could look a lot different. Now, I think personnel-wise, the Bears could look different next year. I think that's true regardless, though. I think Ben and this staff have probably done a lot of work throughout this season, in practice, reviewing the tape of these games. There's probably already some guys, Colin, especially on the defensive side, where it's yeah, that guy, we're not bringing him back next year. That guy, I don't know. He's going to have to show us something in the playoffs. They're not getting rid of any of their primary coaches, though. I think we're talking about 2 different things, in my opinion. I do agree that if the Bears win, it sends a louder message than if the Packers win. But if the Packers lose, that is, you might see some change. And if the Bears lose, I don't think you're seeing major changes, especially not instantaneous ones. We're not going to wake up Sunday and Dennis Allen's fired. That would be shocking. I know some of you guys want that, but I just, they're going to give him at least another year with some more personnel and different guys that he probably wants to, try to bring in here and stuff like that. So,
no doubt. I mean, the NFL, listen, in an ideal scenario, right, if your team makes it and wins the Super Bowl, you've got about, 20, 21 chances to kind of prove what you can do for your employer on a, weekly basis. So it's kind of one of those things where, look, the Bears, yes, have more at stake, to your point, in terms of what they can kind of show the world and everything, what they need to prove, but the pressure is 100% on GB, or FGB, I should say.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just think that, if you're Chicago, there may be individual players, to your point, that, hey, listen, hasn't really got my way this year. If I can really show up in the biggest moment of this franchise's season, might be well for me, or might do well for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a guy like Jaquan Brisker and there's any hope of coming back, like, you probably need a good playoff run here. If you're DJ Moore and you don't want to get traded, you probably need a big playoff run here for that to be a possibility. If you're, even guys like, the Jalen Johnsons of the world, I doubt he's gone after this year, but, who knows? Like, I think Ben's a pretty serious guy. Like, I think that, so to Colin's point and kind of what I was saying, there might be individual players on the team that are under pressure in terms of, like, if I don't play well, I'm not on this team next year. That's true every year in the NFL on every team with players. Ben Johnson could lose this game 59-0. He's not going anywhere. Matt LaFleur loses this game even at the gun. There's a chance. I think that would be crazy, but there's a chance that could happen.
Go to DMV Scenes here. It says, at the end of the season, could you do another blue chip, red chip, yellow chip video? Also, maybe a grade video based on initial expectations versus reality. Both good ideas. Also, big dumper from earlier. We did a kind of dual Bears video. It was kind of a longer video. It was like 45 minutes comparing Caleb Williams to each NFL QB.
We'll probably do that again.
There's a lot of content, though, that we could make this offseason for sure.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is good content in, like, the summer when things slow down, because we'll have free agency, we'll have the draft. I mean, we'll have a lot of things to talk about over the next few months. Hopefully a nice little playoff run here. We'll see. But, we'll definitely do the blue, red. We'll do that video again. That was a fun exercise. And then we'll see on a grades video. Do you just mean, like, what we thought heading into the season and kind of just like grading the season for certain key individuals? We could do that. We might do that. We'll see. Tyler Villa, is it bad? I'd rather play Love after 2 weeks off. What do you mean?
Versus Malik Willis, are you saying? Or like...
Yeah. Are you saying then Malik Willis or just then Love playing every single week? I don't know what the either or is. Like, I don't know what the or is. No, I'll just say this.
Yes over Willis.
Over Willis. I will say, in a snow game like this, having a quarterback who can move, like, is there a chance there's a Malik Willis package in this game? Now, he does have a shoulder and a hamstring injury, so I can't imagine it would be a major role, but I could see that. I could see LaFleur, especially in some, like, third down situations, third and short, third and medium, red zone, having something ready to go for Malik Willis. You would think the Bears will have prepared for that scenario, considering they faced Willis 3 weeks ago. So, we can debate who we'd rather play. I will say this. I am curious to see if there's a bit of a rust factor in Jordan Love. He hadn't played in 3 weeks. The last time he will have stepped on a field to play in an NFL game was that Bears game that he got knocked out of, which will have been 3 weeks to the day. So, good players having a good year, but anytime you have a couple weeks off, you never know. He could be a little rusty. Jack Cole, if the Bears and Hawks play, y'all should do a bet. Probably do something.
Yeah. I think, first of all, we'll have something planned if, the Pats make it to where, Chicago and Seattle play each other. But let's walk before we crawl here. Seattle's got some things they got to take care of. Chicago's got to take things, some things they got to take care of. And
Bears we're at least 2 weeks away from that.
Yeah.
Bears have to win twice, and Seattle has to win before that can even happen.
Yep.
But, I think we will have some fun ideas throughout that week if that matchup happens. I can assure you of that. Marcus, how do you think Jaden Daniels will look after losing Cliff? That's an interesting situation because apparently he wanted to keep Cliff. Yep. So, I don't know. It almost feels like the organization wants to go to more of a long-term sustainable offense. So, would they push hard for a Mike McDaniel type, kind of that Shanahan offense? Jaden Daniels has not done much under center at all in his college or NFL career. So, could next year kind of be like Caleb's version of this year where, at the end it's looking pretty good, but there might be some growing pains throughout the season. We'll see. I did not think he looked that good this year when he played. He did not look like the same guy last year. Part of that probably is Cliff's offenses tend to get figured out after an off season with a new team. We'll see. I think it's going to be very they're one of the teams to watch this offseason because a lot of new coaching changes within that organization. Who's their OC going to be? Is Dan Quinn going to call the defense? Do they move off some vet pieces and try to get younger? Like if I'm them, I would just trade Debo again. Just be like, hey, we tried this for a year. Let's just pivot off of him. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels is going to be under the microscope heading into next season.
No doubt about it. I think, honestly, I'm very curious to see who they are at OC because Cliff, in a way, his kind of style fit Jaden Daniels' skill set, which is maybe a reason why Jaden Daniels was, trying to advocate for Cliff. Who, I guess, could be a potential replacement in your mind? Did you have any names that you were kind of thinking about?
Well, it depends what they're looking for. Are they trying to, create something that's sustainable for Jaden long term where there's some more under center action, some under center play action, or do they just try to find a replacement that fits what he can do really well? If it's the latter, you probably should have just kept Cliff.
Right.
Let's tinker some things, but we feel like this is a good fit. I don't know. To me, it seems like they want something stylistically different. So do you go McVay or Shanahan tree? Another one I'll throw out there, which is kind of the in-between. It's not like full college-y, but it is a lot of shotgun, is like Brian Dable. Where you can kind of meet in the middle and you could still have QB run. We know Dable loved Jaden Daniels in the pre-draft process. Anybody that watched the Giants HBO Hard Knocks, Joe Shane was like, would anybody want to trade it for Jaden Daniels? And Brian Dable was like, I would. So I would bet he's in the mix there. He'd probably be my top guy if I were them because he's worked well with quarterbacks. He does do a lot of shotgun, but he could also help Jaden grow in other certain areas. So I would keep an eye on Dable. All right, we got to bring the boom for our guy, Raymond Salerno. Boom! Happy holidays, Harrison. Please check your mail Saturday as I am overnighting your gift. Okay. We'll see if it gets here. Appreciate it, Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond.
Dennis, a round of applause for the new Duval host. Yeah, so couple things. Here's what, Colin, put your new Twitter in the chat.
Yeah, I got you.
And then what's the Jags YouTube handle? Is it at Jaguars TV?
It's Jags News.
Jags News.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys haven't known already, here at Chat Sports, I am now covering the Jacksonville Jaguars. On top of being the Bears Now producer here at Chat Sports, which just added my plate. And I appreciate those of you who were kind enough to also reach out and saying that they were going to miss me on the show.
He's not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know how much clearer I have to make that. Colin put his new Twitter in the chat. He made kind of a work profile so he can put all his content over there and whatnot. And I just put the Jags channel in there. I know you're not Jags fans, but if you want to support Colin, if you have free time and want to watch his content, he would appreciate that, I'm sure. So go show him some love. He's earned this opportunity. But as he and I have said, he's still here on Bears Now for the foreseeable future. Roley, for example, eventually became a full-time host, so that could be in the cards, could not be in the cards. Who knows? We'll see how time goes. But, yeah, he's adding this to his plate, and Construction King, you will be missed, Colin. I hope you're being sarcastic. He's not going anywhere. He's
might just hear a little bit more
plate.
Duval.
What if we get a Bears-Jags Super Bowl? What do you
Now, that would be pretty interesting. Pretty electric.
He's something. Go show him some love. He works hard, so we appreciate it. All right, Soldier Bear, do you see any of the EG edge rushers, I assume, being elite this draft? I like a few of the edges. I love David Bailey out of Texas Tech. I'm a Ruben Bain guy. I know there's questions about his arm length. Maybe that'll turn Dennis Allen and the Bears off. I don't know, but that guy is bendy. He can move people. He's just a good player, so I would hope he's on the Bears' radar. There's some middle to, Arvell Reese is interesting. He kind of finished the year slow, so I'll be curious to see kind of what his situation ends up being. But the draft experts say edge is one of the stronger positions in this draft. So I like Cassius Howell. He's more of a speed, undersized rusher again. That's not a typical DA type of edge player. So It'll be interesting to see which guys in the draft the Bears like at that position. You would think they would probably like a Keldrick Falk type. He's a big physical edge who can play the run and dent the pocket, so he could be someone to monitor. But Romello Height's a good player, the other Texas Tech edge. There's some good players.
There's some good guys.
I like Uwe Ungalale has been good in the playoffs, too.
He really has been.
I think he's raised his stock. He might be back in the first round when it's all said and done. So keep an eye on all those names. And, you know, we'll cover it all. And Cullen will have his Draft Crush series back as well.
Yeah, can't wait to bring that series back. And listen, we're delaying it because the Bears are in the postseason.
Yeah.
We love it.
We'll see you in a month and a half. See you in a month and a half.
All right. I'm going to ask you, check Slack, because there is a Slack that you need to check. Wavy Baby just came in with the super chat. I'll read it before we get it on screen. Says, did you play college ball? Also, I'm a Miss Cullen. Guys, I appreciate the love. I'm not going anywhere, but I appreciate the kind words. Harry, to my knowledge, didn't play college ball. He
I did not play college ball.
No, I'm saying, did you play high school at all? I don't remember. Because I know you said
I played tennis in high school. I played everything else before that. I had a bad shoulder injury, so I stopped playing football and baseball. Thought about going back to it, but didn't. But, yeah, I didn't. I played everything growing up, though. So, yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. We are officially caught up, so do you want to...
WTF 10. Hey, relax. Relax. I always knew I was going to be on the broadcast side of things, so give me a break. Give me a break. It was an average public school, Ricky. Average public school. Nothing special. Nothing special. Okay. I think we're good here. Hang on a second.
Oh, Arnold sent me the thing, but I didn't realize it was...
Wait, what is he?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm not plugging this live right now.
No, you're not. Give me a sec. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right, Matt Eberflus in the chat. He is once again unemployed. Did you play college ball? Also, I'm a Miss Cullen. He is not going anywhere, guys. But I think it's a bit now. It's kind of fun.
It is.
We're gonna miss you, buddy. What the hell is that?
I have no idea. I gotta do this real quick, just because.
He said didn't realize you were alive, so I think we can do it after.
Okay,
whatever
gotcha.
it is.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send this to you. This is Arnold sent this to me. I don't know why he didn't send this to both of us, but
yeah, I don't. I literally have no idea what's going on. So, other than the link part. No college ball. Are we caught up on super chats?
Yes, we are caught up.
We have one more segment, and then we will sign off here on the show. Oh, is that just for Saturday if it ends up happening?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what it. And then I was gonna remove, but it's not for right now. So
cool. All righty, one more segment, and then we will do what we did last week. We will redirect you to our Four Verts college football playoff stream. Cullen and I are going live for Ole Miss Miami tonight around 6:15. So we'll probably sign off around 5:40, 5:45, but it'll still send you to the live kind of dashboard, if you will, the live stream. The chat's already open, so you guys can chop it up over there until we go live. So if you guys want to do that, certainly free to do so. But one more Bear segment here, and then we will do that. All right, here we go. The Green Bay Packers might have just given the Chicago Bears a huge gift before Saturday night's contest in the wild card round of the playoffs. My name is Harrison Graham. I will tell you what that gift is coming up here in just a few moments. But we got an updated look at our subscriber battle from down 100 subs to up 390. Shout out to the Bears Now gang. I knew you guys would step up to the plate. We are burying Joey Peterson in the Packers report, but I heard he made a strong push today. So let's not rest on our laurels here. If you have not subscribed already, support the show. Let's beat the Packers report, and let's beat them to 1,000 new subs this week. We're 88 away. We, of course, will be live on Saturday night as well. Let's win the sub battle. Let's win on Saturday night, and let's have a party. Subscribe, bear down. Let's get into the video. The Did the Packers give the Bears some bulletin board material? It's a classic phrase that fans love to put out there. We're going to talk about it here. Two notable Packers made some, interesting comments expressing their confidence in one person's case, and in the first person's case we're talking about, towing that line in terms of trash talk, in terms of what we could see on Saturday night, and that is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, who, to his credit, has embraced being a Packer and embraced this Packers-Bears rivalry, which I appreciate. I want Bears players to hate the Packers. I want Packers players to hate the Bears. That's how it should be. But I thought he had an interesting comment when it came to his quarterback, Jordan Love, who, of course, suffered a concussion in the last game against the Bears when he ducked his head a little. Maybe Austin Booker dipped his a little, The league certainly thought so. They suspended him, but bottom line is if Love doesn't duck his head, he's not concussed. But that's neither here nor there. Here's what Josh Jacobs had to say. He said, I know a lot of guys on the Packers took that hit that he took a little personal. So I'm not saying we're going to go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we're definitely going to defend our brother. And if you're the Bears, you got to toe that line. Even if the Packers early on are being chippy, if they're playing after the whistle, don't do something to cost yourselves. Don't have a ridiculous penalty in a ridiculous spot that could cost you. I would expect there to be some chippiness early on in this game, and you got to know where that line is, and you can't cross it, because every penalty, every mistake in these type of games can be deadly. It can just be the difference between winning and losing. The margins are that slim in the NFL playoffs. I'll say this, too, for Josh Jacobs. And again, he didn't say anything like crazy egregious, like we're going to go after Caleb Williams or something like that. I do wonder when these athletes do put this stuff out there, though, before these big games, what exactly does he gain? Like, what does he gain? If anything, it's bulletin board material for the Bears. If not, it's nothing. Like, best case scenario, it means nothing. So I did think that was kind of an interesting strategy to put that out there. And by the way, something that Packers fans refuse to acknowledge or even discuss is DJ Moore, and this is a screen grab of the video, just getting absolutely clobbered by Keyshawn Nixon in the back in the middle of a play early on in that game. No fine for that one, by the way. And I get it. League protects their quarterbacks, multi-billion-dollar business. Okay. They want to call that hit on DJ Moore incidental. I disagree, but I guess they can make that case. Listen, it's a rivalry. It's a huge one. It's only the third time these two teams have ever met in the playoffs. It's 1-1. The Bears won a game back in the 40s. The Packers won in 2010. Third time they've met in 6 weeks. These teams know each other well, so I would expect there to be some fireworks in this football game. Coming up, another Packers figure, Jeff Hafley, provided some more material for the Chicago Bears, expressing his confidence that this will not be the last game of the season for the Green Bay Packers. But first, we are sponsored by Rocket Money, a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Have you ever had a moment when you realized you needed help getting your finances under control? Was it a specific purchase, a bill, a blank statement that made you think, I really need to fix this? Well, Rocket Money is going to get your finances under control. They can help you cancel those subscriptions you no longer want. It'll list them all out for you within the app. You might realize you've doubled up on certain subscriptions. Maybe you have multiple accounts of the same streaming platform or something else. Or maybe you realize, oh gosh, I don't even use that anymore. I don't even use this anymore. You could save a lot of money just by canceling basic subscriptions you don't use, and they're going to help you do that in a timely manner. They can even negotiate to lower certain bills with businesses in your case. Maybe it's your electric bill, phone bill, whatever. They will scan what's out there and what's available, and if there's a better price, they will let you know, and you can switch providers if you choose to do that. So let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join today, rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. That is rocketmoney.com/bearsnow, rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. Check out Rocket Money, grow your savings. Your boy did so, and my wife and I were able to buy a house. Pretty awesome. Okay, Jeff Hafley, who's going to get some head coach interviews. I think he's already got in Tennessee as we're filming this. He'll probably have a couple others as well, although his stock's probably dipped a little bit. that his defense hasn't been great since the loss of Micah Parsons. So, a win over the Bears would go a long way in his resume without Micah Parsons. But he is confident that they will win. Talking about the Packers, he almost got emotional this week at the press conference, because he knows there's a chance he may not be back next year, talking about, how grateful he is to Green Bay and all that. But at the end of his press conference, this is what he had to say. Quote, "Everything I've been a part of here, what a blessing it's been to be here for me and my family, so I appreciate that. We are not going to be done." Talking about the game on Saturday. That's not going to be the end, he says. "So I will see you guys," talking about the media, "next week." Because coordinators speak once per week, and he's saying, "Hey, this isn't the end. I'll see you guys next week." And look, I think a lot of this stuff is just like for the fans, right? Like it kind of creates like trash talk on social media. But I do think a lot of athletes, especially in this social media world, any extra motivation helps, right? That little bookmark button on Twitter, just we'll toggle that a little bit and, store that in the old memory bank. And just if it's a little extra motivation for someone on this football team, some players on this team, like, hey, did you hear that Jeff Hafley guy? He's basically thinking they're going to shut us down, that they're going to be playing next week. Let's prove that SOB wrong, right? Like, again, I can't speak to these players doing that, but I do know for a fact, and you guys have seen it, that these players, they hear things. They're online. They see what these other coaches, what fans, what people are saying, and, sometimes they respond to it publicly. Sometimes they store it in the old memory bank, use it as motivation. Sometimes they store it, and then if they win, they will unleash the receipts, which we'll talk about in a second. But here's what I think the Bears need to do just in their overall approach to all this, because I have not really seen a quote from a Bears player, coach, or anything this week that has kind of created these type of headlines, right? Chicago needs to play with a lot of energy. They got to meet the moment in that regard. But more importantly, they need to play smart. They need to play with intelligence. That's a word Ben Johnson used when he first took this job. I want intelligent football players. And I think the Bears have played smart this year. I think they added a lot of smart players. A guy like Joe Thuney, a guy like Drew Dahlman. Football is a violent game, but it's a very mind kind of numbing game in terms of like all 11 people are doing different things on every single play. So you have to have really deep brain power to play this game at this level because there's a lot going on out there and you have to make split-second decisions. So playing smart, kind of like what we said earlier, don't cross that line and have stupid personal foul penalties, is going to be a big factor in who wins and who loses this game. I thought Cole Kmet said it perfectly this week. It's not about who wants it more. It's about the details. Everybody on that field wants it. It's Bears, Packers in the playoffs. They all want it. It's not them wanting it more than us. It's not us wanting it more than them. It's about who plays the best, who plays the smartest, and who plays the cleanest. The sharper team will win this game. I don't think there's a big enough gap one way or the other that it's going to, like Rams, Panthers. If the Rams have a B- game, they'll still probably win. And Bears, Packers, if one team plays B+, the other plays B-, the B+ team probably wins because there's not enough of a gap. The margins are thin. That's why the line this week has been between 1.5 points on either side of the coin for the Bears and for the Packers, and that line continues to move and be around to pick them. It wouldn't shock me at all if it closed as a pick 'em. It's going to come down to the details. It's going to come down to a handful of moments in this game, and the Bears need to be the smarter team, the more disciplined team, and the sharper team. And all this trash talk, and I'm a fan of it, and we'll see some of it during the game, and you got to show that edge. You got to know where that line is. And hey, my advice, save the receipts. Hit that little bookmark button, hit that little like button. And if you want to fully unload the chamber of receipts, if you win this game on Saturday night, have at it. That's the beauty of playing in a rivalry game. That's the beautiful part of doing that. So we'll see if the Bears have the maturity to meet this moment. I think the approach this week has been good, and I'm excited to see how these guys play on Saturday night. You guys know what to do. FGB down in the comments section below. It's a motto. Nothing changes when it comes to being a Bears fan. It's F Green Bay. You guys know the drill. So get it spammed in the comments below. And join us for Bears, Packers, Saturday night live at 5 o'clock Central. I had a kickoff at 7 o'clock. Thanks to helping us reach 150,000 subscribers. We promised we'd go live 2 hours early if we did so, and we did. Now we're on to 151,000. Be there on Saturday night. It's going to be a movie. All righty. All righty.
Get those FGBs down below. I got TK, I got Card Fan, got Ron Winarski saying FGB.
People are calling out some guy named Ken. Is it a Packers fan?
Yeah, he's just.
Okay, Ken. We'll see you Saturday night. We'll see what happens. See what happens.
We shall see.
We will see what happens.
That's a great super chat. I think to potentially end on.
That's good stuff, Jack Cole. That is very, very good stuff.
Go ahead and flash his super up here. But yeah, guys, if you guys are college football fans, myself, Harry, we're going to be live for tonight's Fiesta Bowl between the Miami Hurricanes and the Ole Miss Rebels on Harry's other channel, 4 Verts. So I'm going to throw that link in the chat. It's also
I just put it in there as well. I'm going to pin it.
Yep. I'm going to just throw that in there. Yeah. It will be
It's going to be a fun game tonight.
Very fun game.
Trinidad Chambliss and that Ole Miss offense against that Miami defense. I can't wait. I can't wait. Get ready to learn Chinese, Cullen. We will miss you. That's funny. For those just joining, Cullen's not going anywhere, but it's kind of a bit now. He's added the Jaguars channel to his plate. He's going to host over there, and he's dipping his toes into the hosting realm of this JOB. So awesome opportunity for him, but he's RIP Cullen, true legend. Good stuff. He's not going anywhere. All right, so we're going to sign off. YouTube should, something should pop up, and it should allow you to go to the 4Vert stream. We're going to go live over there, 6:15 at the latest, maybe a little bit earlier. We got to do a couple things before we go live, but it should redirect you over there. Also, the link is in the chat. It's pinned in the chat if you just want to click there now. We will see you over there, get you ready for kickoff, and we will have a full watch party of Ole Miss Miami. Go support us on 4Verts, my other YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to get out of here. Bears, Packers, Saturday night, 5 o'clock Central. We'll be live. I hope you're there. Bear down.